There is an endless sea of podcasts about entrepreneurship. Talking about it, but not living it. We live it every day. This is Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle, talking about real estate investing, but also encompassing general subjects in regards to owning small to medium-sized businesses. And of course, all the struggles that business owners must overcome to be successful. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. And this is Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Inside the Wolf's Den with your hosts, Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle. Today we actually have a special guest actually in the studio, Mr. Rana. How are you, Mr. Ron?
Hello. I'm doing really well. Thank you so much for asking. Appreciate you guys for having me on the show. So thank you so much. It's always great to be interviewed by some of the industry's best, and I'm honored to be here. So thank you.
Well, you're welcome, and thank you for being here as well. So I'm just going to give a brief bio on Ron. So Ron is a self-made American-born Pakistani, is making major waves in the real estate wholesaling world. A sought-after author, motivational speaker, and serial entrepreneur, one of the most diverse and serial entrepreneurs in the game. He is a national speaker and has spoken in front of thousands. Ron is a husband, father, and son, truly an inspiration to the real estate community. He has been able to retire his single mother and currently lives in Houston with his beautiful wife and 3 sons. So I love that you're a serial entrepreneur because that's really what we are as well. So
yes, I'm kind of addicted.
We'll get into that because I want to know how you manage it all. Because we took on so much in the last couple of years, and it's like, man, it gets you. There's a lot of moving parts and things.
There are, and I'm just blessed to have the right systems and process, and most of all, the right people. That's what it comes down to, is having the right people.
You are so right. So before we get into that, though, so I want to every successful person has a story, right? And so I kind of want to get into your background, how you got started, your story. So tell us.
Yeah, so, again, right, you kind of gave a great introduction, but, there's always more, it's not always on the resume, like they say, right? And I love it. So, my background is I came from the automobile industry, 11 years in the car business.
Wow.
So building rapport and negotiation was kind of in my back pocket when I came in. So I used to train the car sales guys to take money out of your pockets and say, hey, what do we need to do?
You,
yes,
right?
It was me. So, I'm a local cat here from Houston, Texas, born and raised, grew up in Alief, single mother, of course. And, I just wanted, something, I just wanted to become something in life, no matter what it was. And I wanted to make a lot of money, right? And the next best thing to selling drugs was real estate. So I wasn't going to become the next Pablo Escobar, So real estate became a passion. And especially coming from the automobile industry,
right.
A lot of my high-end clientels, the common denominator was, what do you do for a living? So real estate. Oh, I flip properties. Oh, is it like the HGTV show? No.
not anything like it.
So, I started talking to investors and stuff like that, going to seminar after seminar, the gurus, and, getting sold a dream. And I went that route, lost a lot of money, but I take that as a learning curve. But long story short, my story comes from, again, right, being an entrepreneur. I always wanted to become an entrepreneur and be an entrepreneur, but my dream was really to impact people. Being an entrepreneur, I'm able to create jobs now, right? And I'm able to help people, put food on the plate for their families.
Right.
So that's what drives me. It's no longer the paycheck. It's more of the passion that drives me now. So we always pick our people over profits any day. So that's what pushes me every day. And of course, the family, the kids. We've been married now for almost, now it's going to be 12 years. My wife's going to kill me if I get the year wrong. But yeah, she's been there since day one. We started this business. I own Investopia Online, so we are a premier wholesaling outlet here in Houston, Texas. We wholesale everything from single-family homes to multi-million-dollar apartment complexes, mobile homes, land, whatever real estate related, we wholesale.
Gotcha.
But we started this business out of a one bedroom apartment, and now we wholesale apartment complexes. So
Very
that's
cool.
kind of a pretty cool little testimonial. And I started just like everybody else, right? No money, no credit type of thing, and kind of like I had a dream to become something, and that's what really pushed me to the next level, and then it just snowballed from there. Yeah.
That's great.
I love that you give back now, and do you think that evolved over time? Did you start with chasing money like most entrepreneurs, and then it evolved to, hey, how can I make an impact? Or have you always been...
No, it definitely was about, I would be lying if I said it wasn't about the money. Now, in the car business, I was, you can say, comfortable, right? Kevin O'Leary says it the best. A salary is a drug given you to forget your dreams, right? So it's very true. I was on a comfortable salary. I had to move away from a 401k, health insurance. I mean, those are big sacrifices that people have to, make in order to become, either an entrepreneur, because we don't have Obamacare, we don't have we don't have a plan. We have, but being an entrepreneur, we're able to create a backup of our backup plan. Okay, what am I going to do now? So eventually, they say money doesn't buy happiness, but I can tell you this much: it definitely makes a pretty good down payment. So and yes, the money was in the beginning, but I left the automobile industry was because I didn't have enough time to spend with my family. I was working 12, 13, 14 hours a day, virtually impossible, but we were doing it, right? I was missing birthdays, anniversaries. I was missing special events. I couldn't go to a family member's, burial either because I had to work, right? So it was pretty tough. I mean, dealing with, 300 Beacon scores coming in or visiting my son's birthday, so
I know that. So it's I know it's hard to take that first step, because I'm sure the security. Your wife was probably like, this is scary, right? It might be scary for some
surprisingly,
people.
she was quite supportive. Because I had been kind of planting that seed. See, I'm smart. I'm a car sales guy. I was planting that seed. Somebody comes by the car, leather, your air conditioning. So I'm like, hey, honey, I'm thinking about quitting. She's like, okay. Next day I come, I quit. She's like, what? What's going on here? And I was like, she's like, okay, we got this. Like, she's so supportive, right? Having spousal support is extremely important, and it's true. Behind every successful man is a woman, and she's been a integral part in my success for sure, and pushing me, and my number one. She was my number one fan. At the end of the day, she was my very first fan who said, "Hey, I believe in you. I believe in us." And I write a lot about that in my book. Right? She believed in my dreams when I didn't believe in my dreams, and we just wanted a better life for our family. And at the end of the day, working for someone wasn't gonna make it. I was helping somebody, like they say, it says hire people to help build your dream. Otherwise, somebody will hire you to build theirs. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And I have a lot of people who work for me, but there's a difference between a boss and a leader, right? I'm a leader. I lead from the front. So we help empower our employees also to become, financially free through real estate. So we definitely do that for a lot of our team members, and but I've learned the hard way too. I've hired many wrong people who kind of come in and suck you dry, but that's a part of the learning curve.
So let's talk about that, because I know that we all have challenges. So what challenges have you faced kind of in your career, and it's kind of helped you lead you to where you're at today?
Being on social media, my life is out there, so everyone kind of knows what we're doing and where we are and stuff like that. Earlier on in my career, I did attract a lot of the wrong talent because people who, followed me wanted to do what I did. So they came in, learned from me, and again, I take it as a learning curve. And now we just have a better vetting process. I'm not against people making money, right? Just tell me what you want to do, right? So there was just a lot of people coming in, and again, the same people who were following me wanted to become a wholesaler, started seeing the success and stuff like that. So, but at the end of the day, we always want our people to grow,
Right. Yeah. So what advice would you give? And you can talk to you if you have some questions.
No, I'm going to talk about the online, because my personal question was, you have a great online following. So was that intentional? Did you did it just come over time, or how did you build your following?
So I knew that there was a key formula to this whole social media game. You had to be out there. So for about a year or so, I was kind of in the background. I would attend networking events, not talking to people, and just watching people. It's like, okay, what do I do now?
Yeah, right. I don't believe
do
that.
I need business cards? No. Trust me. I was kind of like this, right? Like, all right, cool. Yeah, my name is Ron. All right, cool. Yeah. You're what
The
now?
cool
You're Flip,
Ron in the
right?
corner.
No. I'm just right. But then I was like, all right, I gotta bring my salesmanship out. I gotta bring my car guy out. And yes, it was quite intentional because I wanted to, be known out there. I wanted to, because the more known you are, the more bigger, deals you do, and the more following you get, the more people you can impact. And that's one of the reasons why we launched our education business, right, with wholesaling RE 101, is to be able to impact so many people. But when I first started, I was giving away information for free for years, years and years and years, so, but yeah, it was definitely intentional. I can tell you that, because I didn't want to be in the shadows anymore. Yeah. But the more I got out there, the more my social media following grew. It became pretty cool. I mean, I will travel, to, like, for example, because it's all over the U.S. I mean, Universal Studios, somebody would recognize me and say, "Oh, Ron, I follow your content," or we're at, we're traveling and people will say, "Oh, I follow you." Last night we were at dinner. Somebody walked up to me and said, "Hey, I follow your content on YouTube." So it's pretty cool.
Yeah,
I mean,
awesome.
it becomes a drug at some point. So I understand why Grant Cardone does what he does. So it definitely strokes the ego.
That's awesome.
That's great. Yeah.
Well, go ahead. You had a question before I asked that.
No, I lost the question, so I don't know, but that was good stuff though.
You were going to ask if you could start all over again. Like, say, let's just say you or start from scratch, right? Or go back to your 20-year-old version of you. What advice would you give?
Yeah,
because I think we have a lot of young followers,
right,
people that want to become entrepreneurs, but like, what advice would you give them?
Okay, the advice that I would give myself, say earlier in the 20s, would be, fail forward, fail fast. The faster you fail, the faster you'll attain success at the end of the day. Being an entrepreneur is hard. Being broke is hard. Being rich is hard. Being wealthy is hard. You choose your hard. Yeah. Right? At the end of the day,
true.
You got to fail forward, fail fast. And I tell people this all the time. They said, what is one advice you can give me? I said, just keep going. Don't look back. If you fall down, get back up. Because that, when people fall, they said, oh, it doesn't work anymore. It doesn't work. It didn't work for me. No. It works. You have to work.
Yeah.
That's you have to put in the work, right? So that's definitely an advice that I would give young entrepreneurs, because there's so much clout out there right now. NFTs and you've got metaverse, and then you've got all this stuff, real estate. There's so many gurus out there teaching all different Amazon products and this and that, right? It's so easy to get lost in the clout.
Yeah.
But you got to find what you're passionate about. Like, I can never be passionate about Amazon. I don't know what it is about it. Like, the only passion I have on it is because I became a #1 reseller on it. #1 new release on Amazon for our book, right? Yeah. But otherwise, I don't understand. Like, real estate is truly a passion that I have. I just like something that's tangible, something I can go and touch. Yeah. I can touch an apartment complex. I can't touch Amazon. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, it's not.
Totally.
So that's why. Yeah. But I would definitely tell them to pick a lane and just go forward and fail fast. The faster you fail, the more success you'll attain.
I can't tell you how many times Joni and I have failed in multiple businesses and got back up and kept going and pushing through. But
people think these people are crazy. Like, well,
I think you have to be a little bit to be an entrepreneur.
You've got, entrepreneurs are crazy just in general, because we believe in ourselves before anyone believes in us.
Right. Yeah.
So I would, definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, right?
And we can take a lot of abuse. But tell me about, because I'm sure your journey had some failures along the way. Share something that maybe you would relate to listeners, and something maybe you failed or you learned from. mistake you made, or?
Oh yeah, there's not only one. There's been many.
Yeah.
People have come and try poach my entire company. You know, people who you think are your friends are not really your friends. But again, that's an entire learning curve, right?
Yeah.
Pre-pandemic, you know, we kind of were in the office space. We had the office, and people were doing, you know, deals left and right. Employees are coming in and out, and stuff like that. So when the pandemic hit, everyone kind of was like, oh, what are we gonna do? Like, right, like the first 2 weeks, everybody was like, oh, what's going on now, right? And then after that, the real estate market just started booming. And we're like, oh, okay, here we go, right? So, you know, I think that was one of the instances that I really learned from was, you know, don't people, and I'm the type of person who gives somebody an opportunity not to trust them.
Yeah.
You know, I'll give you my trust and I'll give you everything that I have, but if you give me one chance to not trust you, it's gone from there. And I think that comes down to, you know, a lot of the company culture too. Right now, I've been able to build such a great company culture, and then that's one of the things that a lot of the entrepreneurs don't understand. Right, is when you have a great company culture, that's when people stay. That's when people want to work. Right, and work ethics is big. It's definitely big for me. I mean, at the end of the day, you got to have strong work ethics. You got to have integrity, and that's part of our core values in our company.
Awesome. So I can't believe we've gotten this far and we haven't talked about it.
Well, wait, but I want to ask one question before we go into the book, because the book may take a bit. But so, Ron, what's your next? I want to know what's Ron's next.
Oh my God, I don't even
Another business.
Ron doesn't even know what's Ron's next. That is a great question. You know, coming out with the book was such a surreal moment for me. I never dreamed about becoming an author, let alone, you know, again, #1 new release on Amazon. We're so blessed that people have shown us so much love in the industry, you know, and just supported me through thick and thin, and especially with the book itself. So, you know, what my next is, I don't know yet, but I can tell you what's happening right now. We're still riding a high on the success of the book. We just launched it 2 weeks ago on January 1st.
Very cool. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about
so
your
excited.
book.
So the Real Estate Investors Dictionary. So tell us about the book. Tell us why you wrote it. Who's it for?
Yeah. So the book is what it's called. It's an entire dictionary on real estate investment terms. When I first started in this business, I was looking for something like this. I was like, is there Webster's dictionary out there? Like, what is an ARM? What is a cap rate? What is an NOI? Or you know, what is a amortization chart? Like, I don't know any of this stuff, right? So that's the reason why I put this together, was to truly be a guide for people to pick up the book and say, okay, if I want to know what a term means, okay, I can go to this book as a reference and say, you know, I know exactly what you know, what arbitration is or what zoning is. So that's why, you know, I wrote the book. And a book, you know, it really, really gives you that authoritative, you know, standing, right? Authority has the word author in it. Again, now this was completely accidental. My wife and I, we were having dinner one night and she's like, you know, you should come out with a book. And this was like 1.5 years ago, 2 years ago, actually, because it took me 6 months to think about it. I'm like, you know, we've got The Office going on, you know, we're doing great. Everyone is doing phenomenal. Like,
we're making babies. Just kidding. You want
that too. We're gonna need to edit that part. No, I'm just kidding. So, but yes, you know, we're busy. Life is busy.
Yeah,
do I have time to write a book? No. But it took me 1.5 years to put the book together, to write it. I've wrote every single inch, every single word of the book, and we talk about everything. Again, it's an entire dictionary on real estate investing. I also talk about, you know, neuroplasticity as children, you know, how to rewire your brain, and that's important for sales and psychology, right? Because sales is a psychology at the end of the day, right? How to build rapport with people, how to, you know, make people like you within the first 30 seconds.
Exactly.
Because you have to remember, I was in the car game, right? Every time we take we call it up. Every time we say hi to somebody on the lot, you know, I'm in a 3-piece suit. I got 30 seconds to break that ice. So a lot of that is in the book. So the book will teach you, you know, not only negotiations. It'll teach you building rapport. It talks about the rules of negotiating. The first rule of negotiation is shut up and listen. God gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth for a reason. You got it, and I don't know what happened to me. I just talked out. So, but
you did your time. You listened.
So the more we listen to people, the more pain points we listen for sellers.
Right.
There's a common denominator in people. They just want to be heard. Because what's happening now, we live in a microwave era where everybody wants immediate results, right? And that's a kind of, and it's not our fault, it's just how the media has portrayed and how the society is now. We want everything quick, right? But again, right? The book will teach you everything that you need to know in real estate, wholesaling, investing, A to Z. It talks about my story. It talks about a lot of stuff that, you don't hear on YouTube, that you don't hear on podcasts or, except for this one. We're gonna give it all the nuggets on this podcast. But, there's a lot to my story that people find inspiring. And it's been amazing. I mean, we've been able to, we launched it on Amazon, and then we were able to ink a deal with Barnes and Nobles, so it'll be available mid 2022. Awesome. So that's going to be kind of surreal and just it's crazy.
Did you ever think you would be walking into a Barnes and Noble and your book would be there?
No. And I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about it, because when I first started, my first word in the book, I was like, who's going to read my story? Like, who would read this? Like, okay, who's going to sit there and buy a book? Who would buy it? And then I was like, no, the people need to hear your story. The people, because you just never know who you're going to inspire next.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? If it's just one person, then you did your job.
It's
right?
worth it. At the end of the day,
for sure.
It is worth it. So who is it for? You asked me that question. It is for people who want something more in life. People who are tired of living paycheck to paycheck. People who just want to get out of the rat race, right? Because real estate is a vehicle that will be able to help you do that, right?
Absolutely.
Andrew Carnegie said the fastest way to build wealth is through, real estate. So, and that is absolutely 100% true. It's tried and true since the dawn of time. I mean, real estate is the way. So not to mention we get excellent tax breaks, and it was funny because when Clinton and Trump were going at it, she started going after him, say, hey, you don't pay your tax, and he goes, I'm smart. Like, these loopholes are placed there for us to use.
Absolutely.
So, and that really clicked with me. I'm like, all right, I get it. What does he do? He eventually became president and did his thing and all that good stuff. But we won't get political in here. But that was a really good answer, because loopholes are placed there for, you got to know how to take advantage of those.
Right.
So, but real estate is such a great tangible asset that you can, again, I write off my kids' iPads. We're putting them in commercials, and we're buying properties. We're having them throw a hammer in there. It's amazing.
That's great.
This is all about breaking generational curse at the end of the day.
Very cool. So this book, The Real Estate Investor's Dictionary, Ron Rana. So make sure you get this. It will also be in the show notes. So but our guest, that's actually one of the number one questions I get is, what are the books that you recommend, right? So there you go.
Not to be biased, but it's a really damn good book.
So how do you balance your work-life balance with your kids, with everything, all the different companies you got going on? How do you manage all that?
Yeah, we run. I run about. This is now my 9th company. I founded this year. So running 9 companies. And being the head honcho of every single because I don't like losing control. That's just an entrepreneur 101, right? But at the end of the day, we got systems and process in place for us to go out and do what we do. But how do I balance it? We just love what we do. We eat, sleep, breathe real estate. This is not work for us. If we're going on vacation, I've got my laptop and either my phone. I mean, we have technology that takes care of everything. Again, right? It's about having the right systems, the right tools, and the right process, and not only that, the right people.
I was going to say, you talked about the team.
You got to have the right people. At the end of the day, you have to have the right people, and that's what's been able to help me go out and then build multiple companies and do what we do and serve the real estate community even more.
Can you get into some of the companies you run, and especially the training? Because I think we always need an outlet because Joni and I don't do real estate training. So we always need an outlet for people to go that come to us and say, hey, I'm thinking about jumping in. Where can
Where do I get started?
Yeah.
Yeah. We have a education business, a wholesaling real estate 101, and it teaches everybody everything from picking up the phone all the way to getting your first deal, all the way to selling your first deal, going into contract, into escrow. So we empower our students. So a lot of our students come into the program not knowing what to do. So we really literally take them by the hand. We offer one-on-one mentorships, but then we also have a digital course, wholesalingre101.com. People can go there. We have a digital course, gives you all the contracts, your scripts, all that good stuff. And then we also take it to the next level where people can come to, our office, see that. If they want to build, a 7-figure company, a wholesaling company, they can come out and see exactly what we're doing, how we're doing it, and stuff like that. So I've got students coming into the program, again, not knowing anything, to closing, over 6 figures their first year. And then I have some students who, so far we've been able to produce $2 million students revenue.
That's awesome.
And we've only been in education for a year and a half. So it's been pretty dope.
Yeah.
I've been, running Investopia online for over 4.5 years. But again, I was always anti-guru. And like they say, the guru life, I didn't choose the guru life. The guru life chose me. So people were like, Ron, you need to get into education. Like, your content is so fire. Yeah. You need to start. So we put together a course. From the course was the one-on-one. So a lot of our students, we really hold their hand, right? So we have students coming in, like Louver, he's an investor. He's not, he owns 18 plus properties. The guy's already a multimillionaire. Yeah. He said he's one of our buyers, and he says, hey, I want to know how you, get properties under contract, because I'm tired of paying wholesalers $20,000 every time I buy a deal.
Right.
And I'm like, wait, how much have we made off of you? I got to think about this one. Right? But no, he's been so great. On his first deal, he wholesaled was a $48,000 assignment fee. And that was here in Rosenberg. So a lot of our students are local, and they're killing it. Absolutely. Wholesaling is the gateway drug to real estate.
Right.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
And once you do your first deal, you just get addicted. And again, we have so many students that are doing over 6 figures a month. Roxana is one of our star students. She closes, between, I would say, probably about 5 to 8 deals a month. And absolutely, and she's a realtor. So we teach a lot of realtors how to wholesale too, because not everything is MLSable, right? So I have really, really found a niche in that. But my forte is apartment complexes. We love apartments. I mean, there's nothing like doing an apartment deal. So one of our biggest deal was a $2.6 million apartment complex that we were able to, wholesale. And it was a fat, $300,000+ check on one deal. It took us about a month and a half to close. I mean, I've never made that money in the car business. I can tell you that. So
it takes a lot of cars.
Yeah. Oh, trust me. And probably 11. I don't know if 11 years of my life was there. Absolutely. But the same amount of energy it takes you to do single family is the same amount of energy that takes you to do multifamily. I like to concentrate on that, but our single family is on autopilot already. But if you're learning to get started, absolutely reach out to our team. We do hold your hand. We walk you through the process, because over here we believe in the universe. Like, we call it the WRE 101 universe. So it's all about having that culture, that family. We don't leave anyone behind, because there's so many guys out there, right, who are just taking money, money grabs, out of town gurus coming in and money grabs, right? We don't want to name any names, but at the end of the day, that's what they're doing. And then it leaves a sour taste in people's mouth. Because whenever we talk to people too, and they want to come into our program, I still owe X amount of money, $80,000 to X amount of people. Like, I'm like, oh man, that's crazy. Oh, wow. What did you learn? Oh, they told me to go watch videos for $80,000. Man, where do I sign up for that? Like, so there's just so much misinformation out there. Unfortunately, the masses are not educated enough to know what's right and what's wrong, right?
Absolutely. I think that you nailed it. And I love that the fact that you like to help others, succeed. Which, starting out, Sean and I had a mentor and a coach, right? We started out at 19 years old, and I'm telling you, having that.
You guys still look like you're 19.
Thank you.
Whoa. We're a lot older than that.
I need that juice. What are you drinking right there, man?
But the point is that it was that mentor and that coach that really got us to where we're at. So, I mean, that's key. Find 100%. That coach, but but you definitely need to vet that out because yes, there's some bad ones out there as well.
There are
There's
absolutely
probably more
right.
bad ones than good ones. But
Yeah. LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Steve Jobs. These guys all had mentors, right? Elon Musk, he's now hit the richest man in the world. Like, it's crazy how much money these people have, but they all have mentors. They all have coaches, right? And believe me, don't get me wrong. I have invested well over 6 figures into my education, but I've also lost over 6 figures in my education. And I don't look at those as losses. I look at those as learning curves. Those are learning curves, right? Hey, what did I learn from that mistake? What did I learn from that? So I joined every single program out there. I did it. I spent that money. I invested that money, right? And when you, again, there's a mindset difference. Are you investing it or are you spending it, right? Marketing is an investment. A lot of people think marketing is a expenditure. It's not. It's an investment, right? Same thing, just like your education. And a lot of people don't know they can write off their education. The government again, I'm smart, right? Coming back to, hey, as long as you know the loopholes, right? So.
And you keep learning too, so it doesn't stop. I mean, even at your level, even at the Ron level, you're still
the
educating
guru
yourself.
level. I mean, you're probably still mentoring and still signing up for education. I mean, we still do. We're part of masterminds. They're much higher level, but it's I think it's great to keep learning and you'll learn so much because otherwise you're going to make mistakes and it's going to cost you a lot more.
You're going to pay one way or another. At the end of the day, you're either going to lose a lot of money doing it on your own, or you're going to learn from other people's mistakes. I would rather learn on someone else's dime, and I learned that pretty quickly. But you're right. I do still pay for mentorships, and I still invest in mentorships. But this is a different type of level, right?
Absolutely.
There's a saying: there's a devil at every level. The guy who has $1 million net worth has different problems than the guy who has $100 million net worth. There's a devil at every level, right? So I want to be the dumbest guy in the room. If I'm the smartest guy in the room when I go into a mastermind, I'm in the wrong room. Oh, absolutely. I want to jinx. It's an entrepreneurship thing. Absolutely, right? It's like a vocabulary. Yeah. So my wife says something to me, I'm like, absolutely. So what? I told you to take out the trash. Absolutely. But yeah, it's kind of.
She's learned from some of your strategies.
That's an honor. So, but yes, at the end of the day, you're gonna pay one way or another. Fail forward, fail fast, right? You want to you have to get a mentor, no matter if it's me or someone else, or if it's not our team or any. Just go out there and learn from someone who's actually doing the business today. There's no shame in asking for HUDs. Every time someone comes into our program, the first thing we do is show them a HUD. Here's what we've done in the last 2 weeks. We don't even go 6 months to a year because there's so many guys teaching 5 years ago, right? They've got the Ron LeGrand mentality, right? And shout out to Ron LeGrand, great guy. But a lot of what I'm trying to reference is the old school method, right? So, but there's real estate has changed over time for sure.
Absolutely.
I agree.
So this was fun. I mean, we got to do this again, and we got to spend more time together.
Yes.
I can't believe we lived in the same city this long. And we haven't hung out.
A lot to learn from Ron Rana, guys. So
no, I think it's the other way around.
How can people get a hold of you?
Yes, so they can reach out to us on Facebook, social media, Instagram. My Instagram handle is RonRana1. They can also look us up on Facebook, Ron Rana Official. They can send us a message there. And then if they want to get in contact with us, send me an email. My personal email, that's my personal email, not my assistant's email, is info@investopiaonline.com. So it's INVESTOPIA online.com. Send me an email. Let me know you guys saw the show. I'd love to hear feedback from your audience too.
Absolutely. And we will have everything in the show notes as well, so they know where to get this book from, this awesome book here, and how to reach you. So if you like this episode, please rate it. Give us some feedback. Ron would love to hear from you. We would love to hear from you. And we will see you next time.
You've been listening to Inside the Wolf's Den, an entrepreneurial journey with Sean and Joni Wolfswinkle. Tons of entrepreneurial podcasts are out there. talking. Talking. But Joni and Sean are living it every single day. Their portfolio now includes many franchises and medium-sized businesses. We talk about the trials and motivators of successfully running a business. Join us again soon for another podcast. But until then, reach out on the website at InsideTheWolfsDen.com, on Facebook at Inside the Wolf's Den, on Instagram at Inside the Wolf Den. We'll see you again soon. This is Inside the Wolf's Den. We'll see you next time.